Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of MetaBroz. We have the entire MetaFam here tonight, and we are playing D&D. We've actually been playing D&D for a year. We've been going through the Phandalin campaign. I think that's what it's called. But I warn you, I have undiagnosed verbal dyslexia, so I may say the wrong thing and never even realize it. What does that mean for the game? It means I may make mistakes as a DM and not even notice. You shouldn't watch this show if you want to learn to play Dungeons & Dragons. You should just watch it if you like having fun and hanging out with a family that likes to do the same. So with that out of the way, thank you for joining us, and let's get into tonight's campaign, our family D&D, Campaign 1. Encounters in Phandalin, currently. Your party arrived in Phandalin only hours ago, really, as sun set over this hilly town, with large stone blocks jutting out from the grass in and above sections, making convenient foundations for small cobbled houses, new houses. Although this once had a town many centuries ago, this town is renewed and refreshed because there has been metals and ore found in the hills. And it has begun a mining boom in the town of Phandalin that has brought hope and energy and life. Many hard-working people, dirty and tired at the end of their day, go to one of two taverns in town. One, in an inn, the Stonehill Inn, where you currently stay. Your party was fortunate enough to get rooms because this town has many occupants and only really one trustworthy inn. All 7 of you, really 8 with Raiden and 9 with Sildar, are cramming into 2 rooms. You asked for extra pillows from Toblin and Trelina, the inn's owners, the Stonehill Inn, and they said yes, but only after the shift. They would check their stock and bring any extra pillows and blankets with them. While you secured those rooms and also asked for a little extra something from Toblin, something to smoke that is, from his personal supply, he said he would hopefully deliver everything at midnight, but to remind him because it was a very busy evening. You could tell they were also hardworking people. And as this occurred, Karain and some of your other party, including Aiden, dropped off the goods that you had found in a cave on your way from Neverwinter to Phandalin. These goods, the Lion Shield's Costa goods, some of them were not yours, some of them you did not recognize, but the ones that had labels you brought with the intention to drop off in the small town of Phandalin. You also had goods that Gundren had paid you to deliver. This was your quest. This is why your party gathered and set out on your journey in the first place, to help Gundren deliver supplies to the town of Phandalin, mostly mining supplies, some whiskey, gunpowder, and caramels that Aiden's family in particular makes, Carmilla's caramels. And on your way, you noticed 2 horses that were down on your way to Phandalin on this errand for Gundren. Those horses were Gundren and Sildar, his friend, but who he hired for security. Sildar, a knight in his older years, wiry, still strong, but not what he was. Hopefully making up for it in wisdom. Both of them were waylaid by a band of goblins, orcs, and a bugbear. And along with their wolves, they held prisoners and many goods that they had stolen from passerby. You cleared the entire cave of everyone, including a bugbear and a hobgoblin. A bugbear named Clark and a hobgoblin named Yemek. You gathered many goods, as we mentioned. Some were yours, some were not yours, meaning that some you were able to keep, unlabeled, simply treasure. Some you promised to deliver, as we said. There were a set of chests that were trapped. And although your group worked very hard to unlock these traps, your group was poisoned and driven away from them, and you had to continue your journey, which you did. And with new companions, as we mentioned, Sildar and Raiden, a monk, a quiet monk with dashes of purple in one eye. But it's a strange form of amnesia. And almost a distant personality and then a very childish personality. Back and forth, you noticed. It was hard not to. He was so grateful that you let him out of the cell, Ornick, that he promised to repay you and walk by your side until he did. Just before you made it to Phandalin, those goblins, that tribe that called themselves the Cragmaw tribe, some of them caught up with you and said all they wanted back was the night. You refused to hand over Sildar, and you fought them in the woods. They flanked you, you flanked them. And you wiped them out, even though you were weary and tired after already slaughtering an entire cave's worth of enemies. But you succeeded and you made it to Phandalin. And as we said, at sundown, securing your rooms, dropping off the goods with Bart, who basically loaned you money. And on Sildar's word, Sildar went out, put himself in the books of Bart, and gave you more money with the promise that your group would attempt to use that to try and find Gundren, his friend, their friend, your employer, so you could all get paid and they could continue business. What seemed like a simple task became more dynamic rather quickly for your group. And in a moment of reprieve where you were intending to rest at the Stonehill Inn, all gathered in the main tavern room together, Karain rallying the people, sharing some of your tales of adventure, warming the hearts of many tired, hard-working individuals who appreciated his stories and his energy. Just before settling down, Toblin, as promised, did come and deliver those pillows and blankets and smoke. However, before you could all lay to rest, there was a moment earlier in the evening where something small had occurred. As some of you sat inside, waiting for midnight to arrive and the closure of the tavern. Hyde, you stepped outside with a couple others. Just one last glance of the town, the evening air. Cool and crowded with people, some gathered in groups, talking, laughing, shouting, others strolling home, and one rowdy pack in particular that was headed your way, a rather large group, that shouted out to you. Noticing your horns, you quickly drifted back inside. But then, rather than go away, they attempted to pick up some of the cats that Aiden had befriended. A small aside, Ornick visited the Shrine of Luck, meeting Sister Gorel in the town of Phandalin when you first arrived. She had complained of losing her cat. She had shared that she went to the Banshee outside of town and attempted to give something of value to the Banshee because the Banshee could answer any question. But for a spirit, this Banshee was quite material and said that her baked goods were of no value to her. And distraught and lost, she shared that she just wanted her orange cat Flicker back. You said you'd keep an eye out. You wished each other luck and went on your way. Bless you, bless you.
Thank you, sorry.
Aiden, you were inspired by Ornick's story, and you and Omni set out to attempt to find these cats. You even met up with Sister Gorel at her home for a moment. You found her and asked if there was anything in particular that could help you find Flicker. You just wanted to help. You being a druid, being connected to animals, you understood what it would be like to have that relationship disconnected. She said, Flicker, her orange cat, liked popcorn. She gave you a large canvas bag of popcorn. You took the popcorn and said that if you found Flicker, you'd you'd bring her cat back. And as you turned around to walk back with Omni in search of Flicker, you noticed that the streets and the bushes and the hills, it seemed, around Sister Gorell's house were filled with popcorn. You broke off some of your beef jerky, the classic cat call, and you hoped that you would find Flicker. And instead, you encountered 3 other cats, Kai, Ki, and Mene. You know this because you communicated with them, using your ability to speak with animals. You asked if they had seen Flicker. They said they had, and that Flicker was gone. Taken, they said. You went back to the bar with this information and with the cats. They wanted to go with you. Having shared some of your jerky and having communicated with them, in particular, they felt bonded to you. But you could not keep them in the bar. And this is when our story crosses paths back to where we are now. Because these cats were set outside, this rowdy group that Hyde saw, one in particular, one of them stepping forward wanted to take those cats that you were setting outside. You refused to let him. And Trelina and Toblin, the owners, said, I'm sorry, there's too many cats in this town already, and we can't have them inside. If we let you, we have to let everyone. We just can't. You have to set them outside. They had a back door, and you were able to take them through the tavern one last time and set them safely out the back. But the drunk ruffian who had seen the horns of Hyde and blatantly stated he wanted dinner and he wanted the cats, he wouldn't leave. And as some of you were settling in and about to smoke to have a solid night of sleep, you heard shouts at the front door. A stone flew through a small window, and a face appeared with a man who shouted at Hyde, who tried to steal your cats, now saying to Toblin that he wanted either the cats or the weird one. Because last time he said they made money off the weird one. And wouldn't Toblin want some more money? Being obviously intoxicated, interrupting, shouting, screaming for Toblin to let him in, saying that Toblin had crossed a line, protecting these people, and essentially preventing him, this ruffian, from eating his dinner. Some of you gathered back down into the main tavern. Each and you attempted to open the door, but Trelina had locked it and said it's not being opened. Toblin had said if we just ignore them, they'll go away. But they didn't. And instead, as some of you devised certain plans to take care of this situation, or perhaps ignore it, a glass bottle flew through that small window in the door. Now, Toblin told you the windows are small and the walls are thick. We'll be fine. We don't interact with them and they don't bother us. But that small glass bottle, it had alcohol in it, and it had a small cloth, and it was aflame. And it hit the wall, the wooden wall, and it lit some of the wall on fire. And it struck up the wall and dashed some of the alcohol into the bar. And some of it even spattered onto the tables and chairs. Now, you do not have an inferno. What you have is one single bottle of alcohol that has now lit a corner of the tavern.
Are we allowed to interject now?
Yeah.
Can I run into the kitchen and see if there's any flour to throw on it? Because
Yes.
I feel like
Can I
if we
run
throw
down there?
anything
Roll a
else on
perception
it,
check.
I feel like if we try to throw water on it, it's gonna explode.
Why? It's not an oil fire.
It's not an oil fire.
Yeah, that's true. But still.
Can I
But you're
run?
running in the you're running in the kitchen.
She's
Yeah,
running. She
it's-
didn't tell us that
it's
she's running.
8,
What she's praying for.
But my passive perception is 14. So
Oh, you got it. Okay, you wanted water?
I wanted flour to
You wanted flour.
to
Oh,
dump
that's even
on the
better.
fire.
Okay.
Salt.
Yeah, or salt.
All right. Then
Something in large
absolutely.
quantity like
So
that.
you run. You already know where the kitchen is. You've been taken through the kitchen to drop the cats off in the back. You re-enter the kitchen, and you realize that in the corner of your eye, where you were passing through, obviously there's a shelf with all amenities on it. You run over. There's a whole jar of flour. You take the whole jar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you take the whole jar easily. Take it out, and you're going to.
Go out and sprinkle it on the fire.
Okay, give me a dexterity check. So roll a d20 and add your dexterity modifier.
18.
Oh, yes. You successfully put out all of the flames. Done. You have enough flour.
And then I yelled to everybody else, "Can we board up these fucking freaking windows, please?"
Thomas says, "Yeah, that's weird. I got the boards. Thank you. That was your idea, but yeah, I'm with you. Okay." And he starts.
I immediately start helping with the boarding of the windows.
I also help.
So I don't mean to play devil's advocate. Are we in a universe where flour puts out fires? Because in our universe, flour explodes into flames when you throw it on a fire. It's very, very flammable, particularly if it's powderized.
That is true.
Hold on.
I've seen people do
Hold
that.
on. Flour.
Yeah, flour plus fire.
Is flour flammable? We're in a real reality. I mean,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're in a real fantasy
I
reality.
think that we
I
just
feel
made
like
the
I've
problem
dumped
considerably
flour on
worse.
I think we
fires
just fucked
before.
ourselves.
Hold on. I'm going to give you this for the sake. You also said salt.
Well, I also
Yeah,
know.
I did say flour
you,
or salt or
you
something
also said
like
that you sprinkled it on, which is worst case scenario. Because you could have tried to just
Dump. Yeah.
and smother it,
Suffocate.
but we like powdered the flour
Yeah,
over top of the fire.
I didn't mean like a light dusting, like
Salt
All
there.
right. I'm making a
putting
DM
out the
decision here. You're gonna hold on. You're gonna roll a d20. If you get an 11 or above, everything happens as normal. You just grab salt. It's not flammable. You put it out. You roll under. We have to rewind for a moment.
I gotta like make sure that everything.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, you got to lawyer up with me.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm not always going to be on the team side, too. Normally, I'd just be like,
man.
problem averted, let's move on.
My brain just
6.
okay. So we
Versus
rewind for a
non-inverted.
moment. So Hyde runs into the kitchen.
As she's running, I'm yelling salt. It's immediately what came to my mind. So then she would have to decide.
I understand that was.
I think we have to roll forwards, man.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you advantage. Roll one more d20.
Cool. I like that. That's
Am I adding anything to it?
Oh, your
Just for a little hope.
your perception modifier is still being added to this,
Okay.
and your passive perception is 14.
Yeah. Because my 5 is.
It was salt.
Okay.
You went in your mind as you grabbed the bag of flour, or excuse me, the jar of flour. You thought, oh, that would be so bad. I could run out there and like, okay, right. And you get the salt jar instead, and you go out and you sprinkle the salt, and everything
Here's a new
happens the same.
Okay,
And
that was
really,
3
the
rolls
salt,
in a row.
it's
I
more
know,
of
I
a,
got one good
it's more of a
roll.
matting of salt. This is a gigantic, almost barrel that you're hauling out there, dumping over.
Yep.
every
Flames are
barn
going.
It's the salt
Exactly,
blower
that's exactly
1000.
what I did.
It's like
Something like
just
that.
salt.
It's a really good thing that you grabbed it, because I don't think any of us have a passive perception high enough to have saved us that many times.
Wow.
I don't even have to roll that great for perception.
No, and I love that you're on that, because just like you are going to lawyer me about physics and, flammability, I need you to say, yeah, I'm passive enough that I just know that. Why wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. You're almost in a, like your rogue specifically in your character, you're almost in a, not necessarily a paranoid state, but you're hyper aware whether you like it or not, Yeah. All right, so with that, the fire is out. Toblin is now nailing these 2x4s that he just got to the window that was just broken in the door. You are helping him.
Yep.
So I will say
I go back
I'm
up
going
to
to
the
have
window.
Toblin. No, let's you and me as Toblin. Let's each roll d20s, and we're going to add our dexterity modifiers. Okay.
I have 10.
Okay. Toblin's solid. He rolled a 14. You guys, as you're putting this up and you're nailing this in, you immediately hear, oh no! And hands, boom, boom, boom. And you see the 2x4 pop back. But you're right there. You put your hand. Do you want to say something back? Oh no, wait. Now, Toblin.
No. I just
And you push
because
back.
I want the focus to be just keeping them from getting in. I don't want to
Okay.
engage with them.
You push back. The door is now pressed hard with a 2x4.
Yep.
You feel the beating of someone trying to push this
And I'm
small little
calling now.
square.
You guys get those nails and hammer and get it in. We're gonna.
Oh,
hold this
Tavern's
in
actually there with the nails and hammer.
Okay,
he
so-
got it from the closet. He's banging it in right now.
Right.
The 2x4
I run up,
is
I
in.
put my hands against it as well. I'm providing additional force.
So as Corain runs up, Toblin has finished. The 2x4 is properly nailed in.
Okay.
He steps back, you step back, and Corain places his hands on. I've got this.
And now we're evaluating.
Okay.
So now it's
Perfect.
just the door that's been 2x4'd up, but the windows are
But-
the 2 windows are still open.
Yeah, we're getting boards over the additional windows.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You have 2 windows essentially in every room. And the
Ethan
windows are
is
small,
up on the
again.
upper level, keeping an eye on what's going on from the upper level.
Okay, so you're going around to all the windows.
Yep,
On the bottom floor.
correct.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Might as well. Can't hurt.
Yep.
So this hasn't happened before. I understand. We haven't made it to this point with any of these people.
But we're not going on what we've experienced historically
Right.
anymore.
Okay, just get it done. Yep. All right. So you go around. I'm just going to say you get them all done. Nail all the windows. All the windows are nailed. Is there anything else your group would like to do?
I'm gonna yell upstairs. I think we have this. I think we. Everybody talks like
Like Bart.
like Bart.
Yep. Yep.
You spend enough time in Phandalin, it just happens.
You just did it again.
No, on purpose.
Uh-huh.
So I'm yelling up to Ethan. Don't engage! Don't engage! I think we've got it all sealed up down here.
I'm running to check the back door and make sure that it's sealed properly.
Okay. All right.
Because we let cats out the back. No one's there now, but if they can't get in the front, they'll start circling the building. I wanna
Okay.
make sure that we're secure.
Okay. So you, from the main room of the tavern, you head
You board
back
up.
through the kitchen.
I
There's
head
a
back through the
window-
kitchen
if There's a window in that back door.
to the back door. Make
Okay.
sure the back door is locked tight.
Corain, Trelina is now talking to you. She's waving you down. Corain, your intentions with the kitchen, with where you headed, Corain?
I'm just trying to make sure the back door is secure. No one's going to come around back and try and cut in through there.
Okay, all right. And she takes a little ring of keys and just kind of lifts them gently. Back door secure, same as the front. Keys are with me.
Any windows back there that we should be worried about?
No windows, only the front windows.
Outstanding. Okay,
Okay.
take your word for it.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Okay,
All right.
let's all go to bed while keeping watch.
So, at this point in the main tavern, being just after midnight and having this bustle, there were still a few patrons who were staying in the tavern. Many of them were just wrapping up, but now in a state of somewhat of shock, either standing back up against the wall or frozen in their seats. The one gentleman that you spoke to earlier, Narth, the half-dwarf, who was very concerned about Sister Corell and her cat. And he was also taken aback when you gave him one of Aiden's mom's, the Carmilla's caramels that you had. He actually said he thought it was a trick at first. He didn't understand why something of this value would be given to him. And you just said, no, you just wanted to share something with him, and you appreciated him sharing conversation with you.
Mm-hmm.
He said thank you, and he accepted. And with a look of elation, he took a small bite of this caramel and a deep breath of satisfaction and gratefulness spread over him. Well, this dwarf now, this half-dwarf, he walks up to you and he says, that was something, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
I just want to say thanks for that caramel. That was something too.
You're very welcome, Norm.
I feel guilty, to be honest with you. I was so excited to. I ate the whole thing. I didn't share any, didn't save any. I probably should have shared it. I hate to say it, but I could have sold it and probably gotten something of value for Sister Corell to give to that banshee, Agatha, and we probably could have figured out where her cat was. So now I got this like weird satisfaction. It's like a guilty pleasure that's just. It's not your fault, but.
Do I have eyes on Agatha? Or not Agatha. Do I have eyes on Trelina.
Yeah, Trelina's right there.
What is
She's
where-
talking to Toblin right now. They're kind of whispering back and forth, and they're starting to pick up and clean some of the area that was splashed upon by the
In the
flames.
layout, how is she oriented to the kitchen door and to me?
She would, at this point, she would have actually turned her back, and she is looking at you. So let me do the room for you guys.
Yeah.
So if, let's say that for now, we've got the bar here, the stairs that go up. This would be the front door. This is like the seating area. So this is where that just went down. The seating area also goes out a little bit like that. The front door is in. That's why when you're on the floor above, you can't see the front door.
Yep.
It's actually tucked in here. So, and then, so underneath the, back through the half bar that you see here, and then into the back here would be the kitchen area. And stairs coming down, bar, there's a door that's like right
In between the bar and the stairs.
Yep. And Trelina's standing there with Toblin, and they're just kind of whispering.
Okay, and I'm still up here by the door, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And where is Hyde currently?
I'd say, Hyde, where are you?
I just
you
put
went
out the fire.
right.
So you're
So,
in between me
That
and
corner over by the bar.
the fire's over here. Is the fire over here or the fire over here?
Right here. Fire would have been thrown in. Bang. Hits here.
Okay,
So it hit some chairs, and it hit here, and I'd say some of it even splashed up on the wall.
and a little bit underneath the stairs, but
Yeah.
kind of like to the right of that
Yeah.
pathway into
Yeah.
the kitchen.
Yep, that would be the splash. Yep.
Okay.
So they're just kind of cleaning up right here and whispering.
I am gonna move to Hyde.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to stand next to her.
I'm going to talk to Narth here for just a moment since he walked up to me. And I'm going to say, Narth, it's interesting that you would mention that you felt as though maybe you could have used, the sale price of one of the caramels to be able to get yourself something nice for Agatha. I, too, was thinking about Agatha. I've lost something. I thought maybe she could help me with that. If you were going to get something nice that Agatha would appreciate, what would you get her?
Oh, sorry for your loss. I guess. Oh, that's a tough question. I've never. Agatha's a spirit. A banshee specifically. I've never dealt with anything like that. So, I guess the best advice I can give you is to tell you, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Sure. And by the way, I gave you the caramel. Don't feel guilty about it at all. That was your little momentary vacation that I wanted you to have.
Yeah. Thank you. Guilty pleasure, like I said, I guess.
North, I did notice when we were looking out the front door that one of the people out front is wearing a hat that looks very much like a yellow cat. Orange cat. Sorry, an orange cat.
Oh, now that would be. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and they made it very clear that they consider cats dinner. It's how this whole thing started, was them trying to take cats
Yeah.
from us. And I did see one of them in a striped orange fur cap that looked like it could have come from a cat. I just thought I'd mention that because you said you've been looking for a long time.
Right, yeah, we have weeks now. Okay. So maybe I should be feeling less guilty because the cat's dead on someone's head?
No, I was just giving you that as a completely separate piece of advice. Just saying, hey, you've been looking for a long time.
Okay.
You might want to consider that could be what happened to the cat.
Yep. Okay, thanks for that.
Sure, Narth. Just something I noticed.
All right.
That guy's outside.
I'm going to
What's
go.
going on
go
with the
take a look at
gentleman
that cat.
outside? Is he still?
Can I do
At
a
this point, you guys
check?
don't know. There's boards. You haven't
So
heard
he's
anything.
not making. Okay.
Perception. Me.
You want to look out
I'm
the
up
window?
in the top bedroom.
You got it.
I've been
Roll a
looking
perception
out the
check.
window. So I wanna know if I've seen anything. 19 plus 2.
So Ethan
So,
positioned for some time now in the above rooms. of the Stonehill Inn, the two that you
really
have.
wild night adjusted eyes.
Yes. Each of which
I have night
has
vision.
Annie has
Dark
night vision.
Dark vision.
a
Sorry.
window, each of your two rooms, that look straight over the street. You notice that the entire group, the same group of ruffians, this large gang that came down making all sorts of commotion and noise, that settled when this one in particular started interacting with the Stonehill Inn, is still standing 30 feet off in the middle of the dirt street, talking amongst themselves. You rolled a 13?
8.
21.
19 plus 2.
Why did I hear 13? Okay. You also notice that one in particular, a gentleman who's standing with his arms crossed, a little shorter than everyone around him. But everyone seems to be talking either to him, suggesting things you see, maybe whispering to him, kind of tapping him, or amongst themselves, but they're all kind of positioned facing him. You notice with a 21,
21.
he points and goes like this and crosses his arms again and looks down. And that character who was screaming Tawin's name comes pretty dramatically walking back, frustrated, arms up in the air. You hear again, not exactly words, but and the crowd parts, and this character's going on. I don't know that. Again, you can't make out specifics, but you get the idea. He's shouting. And this guy drops his arms, pats his legs, looks up, shakes his head, and uppercuts this guy in the jaw. And this guy just goes up a moment and then boom, crumbles right down like a building in a mess.
And I'm in the window giving him a nice round of applause.
All right. He looks up at you.
Oh, jeez, you had to do that.
Everybody loves to add these little flavor bits with no real consideration.
Yeah, I would not have done that.
It was a clap. Let's see where it goes.
He winks. And he goes like this.
I'm still smoking.
Listen.
I'm just enjoying the show.
And he goes like that. And the group starts going away. And he stands still. And as the group heads down the street, he walks underneath where you're looking towards the front door of the bar. Dublin.
May I interject slightly before this causes a distraction? So when I moved up to hide, to stand next to her, I leaned in and I whisper, I don't trust these inn owners as far as I could throw them. Why the hell is Trelina stopping Corain from going and checking the back door? There's no reason. We were just in the kitchen, and then she tries to act like we're violating the rules in the middle of an emergency. Do we already know that they made money during the last strange one incident? That they have some kind of arrangement with these people outside? I think potentially you should sneak into the kitchen and check it out if you have an opportunity.
Do I still have the salt barrel?
Yes. I'd say there's not much left, if any.
I can just return it to the kitchen.
There's like 5% of the salt. It's just like the stuff that's stuck at the bottom.
All right, yeah.
Everything else is on the floor, the chairs, the bar.
I'm just gonna take this barrel back to the kitchen as inconspicuously as possible.
Okay. So yeah, you walk up to Trelina with the barrel. Oh, thank you. And she just opens the swing door for you as you head back.
I'm gonna go back there. And I just give me the door handle. Make sure that it's locked.
Yeah, it is.
Cool. And then I put the salt container back, and then I walk outside.
Okay.
I have passive perception. Do I notice anything in the kitchen?
Do a roll for that. Are you looking for something in particular?
Just any sense of danger. 17 plus. It's a 21.
Other than some knives, just the kitchen.
Cool.
Yep. So you come back out. Trelina sees you coming. She was kind of half holding the door anyway, still speaking to Toblin. Thank you, dear. And has the door closed. Now, what you hear is not Toblin. It's more Harbin. Toblin. And it's not so much of a sharp knock as a muffled something along those lines. You see Toblin take a deep breath. I'm going to ask you all to head to your rooms. I think I got this from here.
I think that I'm going to choose to stay and see how this interaction goes. We've just not had a lot of luck with things going as they've traditionally gone or how you believe they're going to go. So I'm going to hang back and see how this interaction plays out.
Okie dokie.
I think I'm going to stand by her side.
All right.
I post up like halfway up the stairs and that kind of like the turn portion of them and just kind of lean into the corner looking towards the door.
I go up to the bedroom while still kind of paying attention and trying to listen to what's going downstairs.
Okay, so you're essentially heading upstairs, but staying at the top of the stairs, like outside the bedrooms, to kind of within earshot.
Yeah.
Toblin
Right on
and
where you
Trelina
go.
are at the bottom.
Chill with you
So
guys.
do a perception check to see if at any point you overhear their conversation. We'll just include that in the narrative.
17.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Is that a 17
Ethan,
total?
what were you doing?
Is this guy just laying out in the street, unconscious?
Yes.
Yeah.
And like,
By-
a,
by
and like a
himself now?
crumple. Yes. No one's paying any attention to him. People are walking around him.
Okay, so he's just out
Fantastic.
cold.
Yep.
And the guy who left him that way is now at the
Then
front
the
door.
group is
Gone.
gone.
Yep, can't even see him anymore.
Okay.
And you have a good, like, I know it's a small window,
Vantage
but
point.
yeah, you can see the street.
Okay.
They're in the distance, if anything, far off.
I'll just keep smoking.
Okay, keep smoking by the window,
Yep.
keeping an eye out.
I'm gonna go chill with Zell and Corain.
So you're coming into the main tavern.
I'm sure that you guys can handle whatever goes on between those
I'm
two.
just gonna stay at the
two
bottom of the
guys.
stairs.
You could be a warlock.
Okay.
You never know.
She's
Well,
she
I
has
appreciate the support. Yep, thank you. I'm gonna open the door now. Trelina. Yes, yes. Puts key in, unlocks it, takes the key out, steps back to her place underneath the stairs, sort of leaning on the half bar. Tavern takes another deep breath, and he opens the door. And a gentleman who's dressed in really what would be tans and browns, leathers. He has what would be tattoos on his forearms, vines that wrap around on either side, short sleeves. It seems that he's wearing some sort of animal hide, but it's finely cut and the stitches are exaggerated. Not necessarily designs, just well crafted. He is also wearing a gold chain, comes down, and has a moon on it, a crescent moon. He has longer black hair. He has a small amount of facial hair, dark eyebrows, tanner skin, slender, and he could be human, but there's something else. Perhaps elf. It's hard to say. He's short,
Dwarf?
but there's something else.
Because you said that he's short. So.
Excuse me, I should say he is human. He could be something else.
Like
hard to
something
say.
else with human.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be a short elf. But he has human features, and there's something elongated about certain features.
Toblin, I'd like to give all of the patrons that are not sleeping here tonight the opportunity to leave, and then I'd like to lock the door back.
That won't be necessary. I understand we have caused you some commotion. My apologies. Toblin in particular. Tralina, I would say that we have had a peaceful existence in this town. And I'd like to keep it that way, so I stepped inside only to say...
Toblin, I don't mean to interrupt you, sir, but I'd like for the people who would like to go home to go home. The bar has closed. We want to make sure that these people have a chance to leave before your gang returns.
Forgive me. I understand you have some business. I don't mind waiting outside. Toblin said that won't be necessary. I appreciate it. Patrons, clients, we are going to wrap up now. We have been wrapped up. I apologize for the commotion. This man is apologizing as well. I would impress upon you that now is the time to head to bed, and we will see you all in the morning. And that is not an option. Please get out of the tavern. Appreciate your business. Thank you for cooperating. Okay. And you see the patrons. Some of them get up and go. Other than one. The one who seemed to be sleeping in his chair. A full dwarf. Dirty. Covered in soot. Look like hair is greasy. He's passed out. There's a bottle half in his hand dangling on the floor. He's not going anywhere. He didn't even hear anything. Other than that, the dining room is clear. Your party, Toblin, and this man who says, I'm sorry?
I just said monsieur.
Close, who says, if Miss I may, now that the patrons...
Yes,
Okay.
I'm now moving to the door just so that I can see outside of the establishment while also listening to the conversation that's taking place.
All right. This gentleman steps out of the way of the door into the room to allow you to have that view. The door is still partially open. The door opens within the room. So now you are standing at a door looking out. Give me a perception check.
2. No. 8. My perception is 0. Although I have a 10 for passive.
Okay.
8 total, 10 passive.
You see the same passerbys that each of you noticed. Nothing in particular out of the ordinary other than the gentleman who is still crumpled in the middle of the street. That's about it. This gentleman now says, for those of you who don't know, my name is Maurice. Good to make your acquaintance. Toblin. He was a new recruit, Toblin. You know, we have many people who come and go here, Toblin, and it was my fault. I apologize. I am attempting to expand and bring great business to this town, but you see, in order to do that, I have to acquire more people so that we can accomplish our many things. And unfortunately, this one, we went out on a limb. It was a friend of a friend. We made a mistake. He's already gone. Now, in regards to the damage, of course, you know I will take care of it like I have taken care of you before. You can just give some forgiveness. We didn't mean for this to happen. And I believe the issue is already resolved. And he pulls out a small bag of gold. And he walks over and he sets it on the bar. He doesn't even try to hand it to anyone in particular. Tralina, good evening. My apologies. And with that, I am gone unless there's anything else I can entertain for any of you.
Thank you, Maurice. We appreciate your integrity.
Maurice, I have one very simple question for you. In the midst of the interaction between Tomlin and the very loudmouth gentleman that you said was a mistake, there was mention of the fact that there were some special individuals who were taken by you, and Tomlin was compensated as a result of being a party to making that transaction happen. That, of course, makes many of us very, very nervous to hear about that. Will you please explain that?
Well, this is my business, and Toblin, do you care to explain? No. So Toblin is going to... Maurice, why don't you just, tell him Just tell him. Some of my business is to find people. We are paid to locate individuals. And we were looking for someone in particular. We put our feelers out, and we also set out a reward. And we said, anyone who sees this individual, please report. And we are happy to pay. So,
Who?
well, like
You're
I
not
said,
in the room.
I'm at the top of the stairs. I can hear it.
Oh, I thought you went
so
and joined Ethan.
you hear a who. Hold on, does he hear you? I mean, you say who. He does not hear you.
Do you hear me enough to ask who?
No.
You're in the middle of the stairs.
So we have a little movie moment where you're overhearing, intentionally sitting up there with a 17, I believe, for your perception. And you're hearing this gentleman who's walking across the room, setting gold on a bar, sharing this tale. And you almost say to yourself, who? But he doesn't hear you. And he goes on, and he says, okay, you want me to share? I will share. Like I said, this is our business. We find people. Toblin, you were kind enough to report this individual. This individual is also very dangerous, you must understand. This is a person who we were paid to bring to a certain area, a certain place, so that he would stand up and do what he must do. Toblin was kind enough to help us locate this individual. We gave him the reward.
May I ask you, Maurice? If this is a dangerous individual, then this is somebody that we would all want to avoid. What is the name of this individual that you acquired?
Oh, again, this is my business, and for the sake of the individuals who paid me, this is not your business. This is not Toblin's business. This was simply a transaction that was really shared with the entire town. It just happens that Toblin here owns an establishment where he sees almost every visitor who crosses.
So let me ask you this, Maurice. If I had lost somebody and I wanted to hire you to find someone for me, what would that relationship look like? What would that transaction look like for you and I?
Well, that would just be for you and I. And we would have to have that conversation in private, with all due respect to the people around us. I try to keep business just between the individuals.
Okay,
and
I
no one
understand.
else.
I understand.
Is there some type of business you would like me to?
Not at this time, but it's nice to know that we have people who are capable, that are at our disposal should we need
We
them.
do many things. We have fingers in many pies, you could say. And finding people is one of them. And we are very good at that.
Many buys.
Especially when we have fine people like Toblin on our side who helps us when these passerbys happen to cross paths, like we said. With really the only establishment in town. We're staying at Toblin, which is why we support you and we want to stay out of your way. And I apologize once again. And with that, I'm going to go.
Okay.
Maurice, one last question, sir. You've been so cooperative and so forthcoming. Thank you for that. It has put my mind at ease. Have you heard of the Cragmaw gang?
Now this is a very serious business. This is disrupting business for everyone. This is more than just a gang or a tribe, you must understand. This is an organization, and I boast about having many fingers and many pies, but they seem to have much more than just a pie. They seem to have, I don't know, the whole kitchen, the whole castle. There are rumors that they actually have a castle, you know. A Cragmaw castle. So a little gang, now that they have a castle, that's a pretty big deal.
Do you know how we could find someone that's a part of this tribe?
Well, that would be business as well. And I am happy to conduct that business for you, but once again, we must perform that in private. So, unless this is a group effort and you're all saying that you are hiring Maurice to help all of you, and in that case, I am fine to do that, but the price may be a little higher than normal because that is a big task operating with so many people.
Maurice, if we decided at some point that we wanted to talk with you further about this, where could we find you?
Well, you could simply find me at the Sleeping Giant.
Sleeping Giant?
Yes, it is the other tavern in town. Many of my men stay there.
Would we be safe to go there considering this evening's events?
Oh, you just asked for Maurice. You will be fine.
Okay.
Yes. But make sure you ask for Maurice, because I cannot guarantee you will be fine if you do not ask for it. Okay. Yes,
Thank you once again, Maurice.
indeed.
Thank you,
Have a
Maurice.
lovely evening.
Good night,
evening,
Maurice.
Selvin.
Good night,
everyone.
Tomlin.
And now he passes by you, and he grabs the door, nods, looks at Toblin. Toblin takes another deep breath, goes like this, and Maurice closes the door. Trelina, from under the stairs, walks across the room swiftly, locking the door.
I disappear upstairs.
I'm going upstairs to
claiming
bed.
one of the
I'm
beds.
going
I'm
upstairs as
claiming
well.
another
Upstairs and
bed.
plop in a bed if there's one
Yep,
available, and on
I'm-
the floor if not.
So as your entire party goes upstairs, hide at the top of the stairs.
I'm already going and
You're
flopping
moving
into
in
bed.
too.
Yeah.
We're selecting rooms based on our previous watch order, where all the people in watch are in one room, and then everyone else is slightly further down the hallway.
Okay. So with that, your group, with watches assigned, and Eaton having some smoke. Did anyone else partake?
I
It's
think
the
everybody
night. I
else
think I'm gonna
partook.
wake and bake. Make
I'm
sure.
very-
There
I'm very
wasn't
Make
enough
sure I
for
get the
everyone.
actual-
Save it for the next day. Yeah, there were only 3.
And the
Charisma
smoking
bonus.
gives you
If-
added points, so it's better to do it in the morning.
This is true. You're right. And that would only be if you consumed 1 gold's worth.
We
Yeah.
didn't have enough to give anybody a bonus. We
Right.
just
You
had
split
enough
up the
for all
1 gold's
smoke.
worth into
Yeah.
3.
Okay.
Yeah. But just keeping track of that, because there would be a bonus if he decided to smoke all 3.
Yeah.
He'd have 24 hours. And with that, all of you,
You'd have
other than the one
now.
watching, excuse me. No, that's with drinking.
No, smoke is +1 to intelligence and wisdom. 1 gold is 1 hour. 3 gold is 12
You
hours.
got it. And 5 gold is
1 day.
24. Yep, you got it. Thank you, man. I love that you keep track of this stuff.
You tell me important things and I write them down.
I appreciate it. I have so much written down, it's hard to find sometimes.
You can only
I
imagine.
can only imagine.
So with that, your group
Long rest?
settles down for a long night of sleep.
Dude, I like Maurice.
See, my clap was warranted. He
It
winked at me
was.
and he came in
It
and
was
had a great talk
perfect.
with you
It was
guys.
perfect.
And we're going to take a break. We are 1 hour in. So welcome back. We're going to continue by rolling to see how this group does on their long rests. They've had an encounter, like we said in the beginning, with goblins. Some of you are lacking spells and hit points. It would be beneficial to succeed on a long rest. You had some difficulties in previous days where you didn't have that opportunity. So who will be keeping watch first? Because, Eaton,
Sure.
and you will be doing this where?
From the window.
From the window?
Because I'm the first person, I can start from the window, right?
Yep.
Yep. So I didn't move from the window. I never even
Allow me to be very specific.
went into the bed.
The
You,
two
I'll stay there.
rooms that you have up top, over top the front entrance, yours specifically that you were in, looking straight out that window. The stairs that come up like this, and then they come down a hallway where there's 2 rooms here, and then there's going to be your 2 rooms here, and there's 1 more room there. This stair area that enters the hallway, stairs and a hallway, you had spoke about staying in this room as to keep watch because this is a dead-end hallway, other than the other 2 rooms that are there. So are you positioning yourself in the original room where you were, or are you in this room like I'd heard you talk about in the previous session?
So aren't all the people that are keeping watch staying in the same room?
Yes.
Is that the case? You've all decided to
Yes.
clutter into one
no,
room.
only
No,
the people.
Only the 4 people keeping watch.
So that we can, like, let the other person know.
Yeah.
Because we need to be in the same room.
So me, Eaton, it was gonna be Iden, but we're not gonna do that because he's not gonna be here to roll. So
Oh, I can roll for him.
Okay, cool. Iden, and then who was the 4th person
Me.
to keep watch?
Omni.
And Omni. Us 4 are in this room. Ethan has moved over, and then the other 4, you guys and Sildar and Raiden, are all in the room on the end.
So 5
Excellent.
of us.
The 5.
All
so
right.
can I convince Corinne and Zoe to share a bed so I can get my own?
Yes.
Since there are 2 beds in the room.
I'm fine with that. I'll sleep better.
Well done. So you all have, well, some of you now have beds, most of you. And Eaton, you are keeping watch. Give me a perception check to see if you notice anything suspicious as the rest of your party.
Rough. 4.
Okay.
Do you not have
He's
any
had too much
Do you
modifier?
have
smoke.
any passive perception?
That was 2.
What's your passive perception?
My passive.
Well, yeah,
If you have any.
he does.
Is that on the skills page?
But there's a bit of wiggle room
No,
to
I-
justify passive perception. In this case, it's a hard roll.
Okay.
You got a 2 or a 4?
A 2.
Okay. You notice nothing. Your
Passive
time.
perception's a 13. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
If
no,
he's
you
keeping
notice
watch.
nothing.
It's rather dark out. It was a new moon a couple nights ago.
I have dark
A
vision.
very small crescent. There's little light. You do have dark vision. And all of that
because wisdom is a
It
perception.
would be an issue if it wasn't for the fact that you are half elf and you can see perfectly in the evening. However, you've been staring out this window so long that if you've ever gone into one of those trances where although you're looking at something, you're not actually looking at anything. That's where you are your entire long watch. You wouldn't notice anything if there was
I
something
have been looking out
suspicious.
that window for quite a long time.
You have. You're bored of the view, your mind has wandered, and your long rest, your watch, goes by uneventful.
Awesome.
Concludes, and you hand it over to who?
Let's go with Ornick.
Ornick wants last watch.
You want last watch?
Oh, my colleagues went last
Okay. I wake up Iden.
Ornick discovered he gets to move on last watch.
Not only that, but Ornick is
I wasn't paying attention.
not
Sorry,
good at
Ethan.
watch without sleep.
Right. Say that again, bro.
No, I was just saying it's a good thing that nothing happened on my watch, considering I wasn't paying attention.
Yes, indeed. So, who is next? Iden, is that what I heard?
Iden, yes.
Okay. All right. You wake Iden, let him know. He sits up, takes position at the same window, so none of you have to move.
He can't take position at the window.
He can crawl, right?
No, no movement.
In my
Otherwise it
mind, you
ruins-
were all laying like
Right
with
at
your
the
legs
window.
along
in front of the
wall.
window,
Yeah, yeah.
all of us just
Yeah,
side by
mine,
side.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So, I will give
To
some.
feet at the window.
Yeah, there
so
you
that
go.
They
No,
could
no,
do
they're
that.
laying the opposite way in the beds. They're laying with their head at the feet of the bed, so when they sit up, they
They're-
can see out the window.
They're essentially Willy Wonking it. So yes, they all have the ability to look out the window. I'm
The
giving you all
window's
that.
huge.
Okay.
You're not going to worry about it.
The window's just huge.
You continue to take watch. Iden continues to take watch. Iden does notice a few things.
He was paying attention.
Iden sees a bat, so he can add that to his list when he comes back, fluttering through. Iden also sees some of the later groups of people who are stumbling home from bars or inns, I should say, taverns is what I meant. And you notice that the people who are really, there's two main taverns in town, the Sleeping Giant and the one that you're in. But there are many small pockets around town where people drink and gather. And these later nights, these parties, even for the hardworking people, there is a cutoff time. It does end. And as hard as they work and as hard as they drink, they do stumble home back to beds to prepare for the next day of work. Because there is such opportunity in this town of Phandalin. It's rare, and it is something to take advantage of before it's gone or something else distracts or disrupts. So what you see is you see people who are hammered, but still stumbling home. Loners mostly. What Iden sees. And his rest concludes, his watch concludes uneventful as well. And he wakes who?
Omni.
Omni. So Omni, you wake as well with your eye out the window and roll a d20. Add your perception modifier.
15.
Eaton, you would have noticed that man who was knocked out earlier in the street was no longer there.
But I never took my eye away from the window. Did I see him get up and walk away, or I was at the window the whole time?
Because you rolled a 2, all you noticed was he was gone.
He got a modifier, yes, on
Mhm.
his roll.
Did you not add your perception modifier to your 2?
No, I did not.
Oh, that's a perception check. Yep. Add that modifier. Let's see if you notice how he left. You're staring out the window in a half trance.
+3.
5.
No, you're unsure of how he left. So, Aiden.
Even with passive perception and a 5?
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
this
was
is a hard roll. There are times that you can, and this is a good question. You were very easy to have that passive perception. You had already gone through the kitchen. You had some experience and you could easily justify why. Come on. Also, your character, the role play itself,
I was already looking out the window.
for a long time. And a 2.
You were zoned out, dude.
Yes.
You'd been smoking
A
all evening.
5.
You guys have all been in a car and you're like, how did I just drive there? I don't
Mm-hmm.
even remember. That's basically what you did out the window. You were really on it before. You were tracking everyone.
So before
it got
I
late.
started
There
my
was no
watch,
action.
though, he was there.
Yeah.
And then by the end of my watch,
Yeah,
he
you
just
snapped out of it, and that's
vanished.
about the only thing. Oh, he's not there. You tell Aiden, hey, your turn. Aiden comes out, notices the same thing, and now Omni with a 15.
Mm-hmm.
So Omni, you stare out this window as well. You notice the same thing. The body's not there. There's no one in the streets at this point. There's no bat flying anymore. There's no sound. There's no action. It's quiet. But you do hear footsteps rather close to the building. No, and that's about all.
I can't really do anything, huh, when I'm on watch. Just
I-
kind of watching.
You can do anything, though it would disrupt your
rest.
rest. At this point, you are really just watching or doing things that you could easily perform sitting down
Let Warnick
or
know.
leaning,
Like,
read.
if I wanted to detect...
play an instrument.
If I wanted to detect evil, would that interrupt my rest?
I think it would,
Okay.
but that is a question that we should ask.
Can you talk? You can talk during
Yes.
your watch, like whisper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't think you can. So if a long rest is interrupted by combat or by walking, casting spells, similar
Okay, yeah.
activity.
No worries, I figured. So yeah, I don't really see anything. But I hear some movement.
Very close to the building, you hear some shifting. You know it's 2 feet, kind of
Give
sluggishly,
me a haircut.
pulling themselves along.
Okay.
Sounds like maybe even leaning against the wall.
I guess my focus would just be to keep an eye out to see if I can reveal where that noise is coming from during my watch.
No, it actually stops. It stops making a sound relatively, I would say, within the range of the doorway, or maybe shortly past that. You just hear the sound stop.
Okay.
And your long rest, your watch on the long rest would conclude as well.
All right.
All right, Ornick.
Oh, that wasn't great. A 4 plus.
Whipping out the calculator.
2 probably.
No, I'm whipping out my character sheet
Online sheet.
because that's where it lives. That's what I've been on my phone for.
I know, it was a joke.
This is
That
my
would
perception.
be funny.
What?
I'm actually proficient at perception, so it's
4
7
plus
total.
3 is. Give me 1 second.
Does proficient mean you roll at advantage?
No, it gives him an additional bonus with his perception modifier.
So
Okay.
my wisdom is +2, but my perception's +3,
Gotcha.
even though it's a wisdom skill.
So what was the total on that?
7 total.
Okay.
Are you viciously mocking yourself?
I would say that you don't notice much of anything either. It is so late at this point. It's getting early in the morning, and other than the distant sounds of animals waking up and stirring, and maybe the smells of some fires and chimneys being lit, there isn't any action in the streets yet at this hour.
Are we all locked into the inn?
Yeah.
Yep.
You are.
That's an interesting situation to be in.
Yep.
Outside is its own set of risks. Inside is its own set of risks.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
thought about that when we started boarding it up.
Me too.
I was like, don't start burning it down from the outside and board us up.
Right.
No, the
I've-
doors are just locked.
I've heard about
The
this.
little
know.
window in the door is boarded up.
I know.
And we couldn't fit to the window even if we tried. We've already established that the window doesn't fit people.
Yeah.
I don't know about the
Only
window we're
rocks
looking at.
and Molotovs.
Yeah, about that big.
Apparently.
Yeah, no, it felt really comforting when we went to bed. And the
That was a good
closer the
throw.
morning time comes, the more it feels very
Well, the
strange.
more we talk about it, the more opportunity we give him to roll. So
No, it's fine. It's the same 2 hours that he's gonna roll for while I'm on watch. I'm just trying to decide. I was trying to decide if I was gonna go walk around outside. That's usually my MO.
You can, yeah, I know, you can do anything.
But I can't because the door's locked.
Not without waking up what's her name or
Yeah.
breaking the door down.
Yeah, and I think waking her up an hour and a half before dawn's probably not the best
for the relationship.
etiquette. Yeah.
Go out the
Especially
window.
after she demanded that all of their people leave.
You say demand, I say request. Tomato, tomato.
I'm gonna go do a round. I'm gonna walk downstairs and see if anything's going on in the bar downstairs. Maybe
Okay.
there's some kind of breakfast happening.
All right, so give me a perception check for the bar.
14 total.
Okay. You immediately notice that the dwarf from last night, who's just covered in like soot and grease, has now completely let go of the bottle he was kind of clinging on to, half touching the floor and still in his hand, no longer. And he is snoring heavily, but still in that same seat, in relatively the same position.
That's generous of them.
I
let
was
them
about to
stay
say, I
there.
take mental note that if I'm down on my luck, getting wasted at the tavern in Phandalin is a free night's sleep. So,
Also, keep in mind that Trelina did share with you that they only had 2 rooms. That was even a rare thing that occurred, that they're normally booked up. So he's just sleeping in the only area they have left at this point.
but no other signs of life?
You do hear some stirring in the kitchen. You can hear it. There's certainly the smell and the warmth of a fire being fall. The cold night, there was a fire all night.
Okay. I'm gonna lightly knock / at the same time as I'm knocking, push my head and crack my head into the kitchen.
Okay. You see Trelina and Toblin, and both of them are at separate tables, and they're both preparing. Trelina's preparing baked goods for the day. Toblin's actually preparing breads. They're just at it at work. They have all of their ingredients on the table, and they're just getting ready to start their day.
Where you two get the energy, I will never know.
I don't think we really have it anymore. But if we don't do it, no one else will. So what else are we going to do? In a way, I suppose.
I'm gonna sit out in the bar. When you have a moment, can you come unlock the front door so I can take a stroll around?
Oh, we can do that right now for you, of course. Toblin, can you handle this? And Toblin
Absolutely.
nods.
Thank you guys
Yep.
very much.
Yes. Good morning. Take
morning.
care. Thanks for staying with us. And Trelina comes right around her little table, past you, to the front door. Was your stay all right?
Wonderful.
The blankets and pillows, did that work out for you?
Yes. Yes, it did.
And she unlocks the door, and she opens it about 6 inches, then she stops. And she looks up and she goes, "And my husband's smoke that he shared with you. How was that?"
Quite excellent. It helped the
Yes.
sheets and the pillow situation.
Fair enough. He is quite picky, and he likes to think I don't know. Take care, and just knock if you let back in. We're not going to have this open for another couple hours.
Awesome. Thank you.
And she gently closed the door and nods. You hear it lock behind you. And now you are on the streets
Locked out.
of Phandalin
Yeah.
by yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a cold morning.
No longer
Fall is
guarding
setting
us in
in.
the room.
So much for watch.
I'm still keeping watch.
You're asleep. We should
Outside,
stop
they could be.
sassing.
We've established that nothing is going on inside right now.
Who says they're not a threat?
If you guys can't handle yourself from Toblin and
We're all asleep.
Trelina,
Okay, carry on.
Lord of the Rings situation, and they'll just have all of them come in, one person for every single one of them,
Yep.
and stab them all at
Same
the same
time.
time when they're asleep. It's the only way that they would get out of that alive. What's the little porch situation? I know that the door's
Yes.
kind of receded. Are there
Okay,
any
so-
is there any place to sit up at the front, right in front of the door?
No, there is no place to sit. It's more of almost a hallway unto itself, or a mudroom that doesn't have a front door, you could also say.
Okay.
In fact, if it had a front door, it would simply be a mudroom.
Any rocks or stumps or anything directly outside of that area? Like,
No, but you obviously see the moment that you step outside the door and Trelina shuts it behind you. You see that same character who spotted Hyde, who was screaming about cats and Toblin, letting him inside, who you assume is the one who threw the rock and the cocktail of alcohol and fire. And now he has himself slumped up against in this little awning because he's got coverage, like the dwarf snoring, and what looks like perhaps a broken jaw, or at least the swelling of something that's severely damaged.
about how many feet away from the door is he?
Oh, 6 feet.
6 feet.
Yeah.
I sit down about 3 feet from him against the same wall in between him and the door.
Okay. He's snoring away. This area from the door of the tavern to the actual area that you walk out that's open is about 10 feet.
Okay.
So you're approximately 3 feet away from the front door. He's about 3 feet away from you. And he's sleeping.
And I'm chilling.
Okay.
Yeah, just enjoying the cool morning breeze. Told you I wasn't going far for watch. I just need some fresh air in the morning.
There's nothing else you'd like to do. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Smoke.
We've already smoked my smoke.
All right. Well, with that,
You wake us up. Hopefully.
no.
People in this situation are way more docile than they were previous. This is going to be mostly friendly.
Water.
Do I have any water?
Water. Yeah, you do. You have your
I'll-
satchel of
I
water.
offer him a satchel of water.
And he is still, even though he obviously must have been pulled over or pulled himself over into this coverage, he is hurting. He is crumpled over from alcohol, and obviously, like we said, that uppercut caused some serious damage. he spits up some blood on his lips, on his jaw, on his beard, and he puts your satchel of water right in. Swishes it around, spits some out, drinks more. Oh. You have anything stronger?
Fortunately, not my friend.
And he hands it back to you. All right. What happened?
You got a little big for your britches, and your boss man taught you a lesson.
What? Taught me a lesson. I thought I was thought I just got a new job. I thought I was my first day.
I think that might have been your last day, my friend.
this sometimes. I've done this. Okay. What did I do? Do you know what I did? You met my boss, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You might have thrown a rock.
Am I boss?
Luckily, no.
Okay. All right. I don't care then. It doesn't
Through
matter.
the window of the inn. And
that might be an issue.
you
That's a good
might have
thing.
followed it up with
Yeah.
a Molotov.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing when I get out.
Yeah.
Black and. Oh man, I just been doing that way too long. Okay, so I'm gonna I threw it through this place right here. This is the All right, I'm gonna go and goodbye. And he just stumbles up the best he can, and like you heard, Omni, kind of slides himself out, and then 90-degree angle, hugging the wall. You hear him. Down the street he goes. He's gone. And now you sit by yourself.
Fresh breeze. At this point, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to move. So I want to be just within the shadows of like the little mud room, but
Okay.
right at the edge, so that
Okay.
there's actually a little bit of a breeze passing by, and I
there
can
is.
hear a little bit of the commotion on the street as it
Indeed.
starts.
Indeed, especially being in that shade as the sun starts to rise and the wind starts to pick up into those little pockets of shadow swirling around in the dust of the road. You see the town now after standing there for a couple hours, your long rests almost concluding, start to come to life. And those doors open and those people come out. Those same individuals that you saw stumble home at odd hours, getting even aggressively harder to get home. They're now back in action, in full swing. Those same individuals are on the streets and they're walking full steam ahead to wherever they need to be that day. Miners, shopkeepers, bakers. Again, this town, it's filled of entrepreneurs. It's filled with spirit and life. And it's exciting to see people rush on these dirt streets that may become something more someday. You notice that this town, it has many merchants coming into it as well. People who don't live here, specifically in the mornings. There are caravans like yourself that are coming up to the local businesses on this long street. You can see the rolling hills of many caravans parking at different areas, dropping off goods, unloading, and picking up.
So from which direction? So where?
So we are here at Stonehill Inn.
Okay, there
So
we go.
up and down this street, you're looking at many different businesses on this main thoroughfare.
So this is the front door.
Yes, it is.
That's where that little alcove goes down
Yes, it
in.
is.
And so I'm sitting kind of here, looking like kind of this general direction.
Yes, you are.
Okay. And so what I'm seeing are the caravans after they've already moved through the town square, starting to kind of like fill up the space
You
around
are.
the businesses.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Am I able to see? Do I see very many of? No, this is the miners' trail. So I don't see any come in this way. I only see them.
You see many
Pass
people.
me.
Yes, and you actually see. That's pretty far away. Let's see. Give me a perception check. Let's check in.
A 16 total.
All right, I would say that in general, you see many people headed out of this street from this direction. And if you could even see through these houses and places of business, there are many people who are heading in this direction. So you see caravans that are coming in and setting up, not from here, excuse me, from the North Trail, the South Trail, and perhaps already parked there previously, opening up, some having tents in places of business where small things would be sold. You know, you can imagine
Like little
sheepskin.
farmers
and-
markets
Yes, you
and-
got
yeah.
it, yes. For this small town, there's many varieties of people bringing their goods, trying to have a business that pops off. But the people in homes who are leaving seem to be, most of them,
It's almost
headed south.
singularly motivated,
Yes.
like headed in the same
Yeah.
direction.
Indeed.
Cool.
And many of them having mining supplies.
Weird question.
Simply put.
I don't know quite what universe we exist in. So, based on the activities last night, do I get a feeling like there's any kind of unnatural sense of motivation or energy amongst these people? Or does it seem like it's just the normal kind of determined kind of people that come to a place like this?
What did you roll in your perception check?
16?
I want you to do another. Give me a wisdom check, actually. Let's just change it up for fun. Let's see if you're wise enough to sort of. I get the perceptions of 15. I'll include that, but I just want to add another element to it.
Yeah.
Or intelligence, whichever you like. Wisdom or intelligence.
I don't think my Arcana score is very high. I'm tempted to try to make an argument
You-
for that, but I think that might not be an advantage.
I would allow that as well, because you're asking for something very specific.
Mm-hmm. Just straight wisdom is not a skill, it's an ability. Yeah, okay, so my wisdom's a +1. Oh, only a 6. Not very knowledgeable on the subject.
No, you certainly imagine the worst sometimes, having gone through more than most ever have. So in your imagination, perhaps for a moment, you think these people are
Can I really be that
really
bright
motivated.
and bushy?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. But it's just a passing thought.
Okay.
Your watch has concluded. Your friends, perhaps still sleeping after what has been a long ordeal, your friends are able to be awakened, full hit points and spells.
Any
all
tiny little
restored.
pebbles or any kind of stones on the road? Or is the road mostly just dust?
I would say it's mostly dust, but with a 15, no,
No. Okay.
nothing particular.
Nothing. I
Maybe
can
a
talk-
small rock, like as I would say, you have rocks on the side of the road that have been kicked out of the way.
Anything small enough that I can toss it at the window without risking damaging the window.
Yes, I will take that back. I rolled so low, I said no, and because I left it, up to the dice.
Mm-hmm.
But our not so gentlemanly, ruffian last night, he got a hold of a rock pretty quick. So let's say that there are rocks on the side of the road. There would be. They'd be kicking them out of the way for carriages, all
Collect,
sizes.
Like 4 or 5 of the tiniest rocks I can
Okay,
find.
you got them.
And I start chucking them at the window. that
Now I
has-
want a dexterity check. Roll a d20.
But specifically the window that has everybody who was on watch in it.
Okay.
Because none of them saw me leave.
No, this is true.
15 plus my dexterity modifier.
Okay, easily. Yes, you are now pinging the window with.
I'd also like to try to be as aware as I can so that the moment I see movement of the window, I duck back in.
Okay. So you're essentially doing this to them? It's just like
Yes.
ESP. Okay, so everybody roll a perception check except for Ornick just to see if you hear the rocks that he's now throwing at your window.
He's not throwing them at my window.
13.
This is true.
14.
No, he's not
19.
rolling
This
that
is
way.
true.
But I'm not in that room.
You're right. I apologize. So it's a
13.
What's
14.
your perception modifier?
2 14s. You two are both
Plus 3.
stirred. Oh,
So he's actually a 17.
Who?
Is it a 14 total?
That's with my perception.
Oh, I'm so
got
sorry.
it. A 14 would do it.
Yeah.
A 14. You are both slightly stirred from your sleep by an odd sound at the window.
I'll go take a look.
I sit up and I hear the noise and I see Omni going over to the window and just lay back down.
Okay.
11.
All right.
I'm trying to, as soon as I see the window. we'll see.
You see nothing.
I think a bird hit the window.
Maybe a mosquito.
I just stick a thumbs up from underneath the sheets.
I'm now go now and knock on the front door to be let back in.
Okay.
You don't
And
continue to throw rocks?
Oh, come on.
within moments, Trelina is there, opening and peeking out since she does not have her window to look through. Sees you immediately. Oh, welcome back in.
Trelina, how much for breakfast for 9? 9?
Give me 1 moment. Trillina would know this immediately.
No, she wouldn't. She said it's all
do
market price. I need to check with Toblin and see what he paid. We haven't talked about the budget yet this morning.
Okay, so we're going to say you have options with that. If you'd like something small, like hard-boiled egg, it's going to be like 3 copper pieces.
Hard-boiled egg?
Each?
Egg?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I'm just giving you an idea.
So singular.
Yes.
Yeah. And these are per person.
Yes.
So 3 copper each.
Yes. If you'd like something a little more prepared, like scrambled eggs and toast, 6 copper. If you'd like something a little more modest, where you'd like some type of like potatoes and perhaps meat, then we're going to get into 3 silver. And then if you'd like something even better, now we'd maybe add to that some sort of juices and further preparation, where you're going to, maybe you want mashed potatoes and not just a potato, and you might be asking for something like fruit is a rare thing, so that in itself is going to take it up, or jams or jellies. Speaking of, Corinne, you were given a jelly from Bart to give to the person who fixed that crate. That crate that must have broken apart on the cart.
That's right.
That's
on the
right.
ride.
Right.
And he said that the glass jar, it had a crack in the rim, but he didn't see any reason it couldn't be used. He just couldn't sell it.
Yeah.
He didn't think there was glass in it, but he said whoever tried to put that crate back together, pass it on as a thank you. As you know, Hyde was the one.
That's right.
Will you
So-
remind? Good.
You guys aren't up yet, but I just wanted to remind you.
Okay.
Will you
thank
remind me of DM, not Trillina? Will you remind me of the point at which food starts to have a lasting positive effect?
Yes,
And
I will.
what that is? Because it's been a while since we've had the option of not just eating beef jerky and crackers.
Okay, so it's so similar. It's food, 5 gold pieces. This is all it is. +1 to hit points for 24 hours.
Oh, for 5 gold. So we gotta have a feast.
A feast. Gundren bought you a feast that morning.
It's not.
Basically said everything on the menu.
What
Yes.
if that's just to maintain?
No, that's to get +1 to your hit points for the whole day.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a homebrew rule that we have, and we make it expensive so you can't abuse it, and you can only get one anyway. You can't stack.
Yeah. Cool. So I am going to I hand you 3 gold,
Okay.
and that will cover breakfast. 3 silver breakfast for everyone, and then that leaves you a 3 silver tip.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
We will get that prepared for you immediately.
Awesome, thank you.
All right. Would you like any baked goods with that? They come complimentary or bread, whichever you'd like. It's either sweet or savory.
Baked goods.
I'm going to have the party decide when they come down. if
Okay,
that's
we can bring a little of both as well. We have it. You let me know. We'll get to work.
Wonderful, thank you.
And she just heads right into the kitchen.
And I head right upstairs and I wake everybody.
Okay. So there's knocks at doors, I assume. And Ornick, what do you say to them to wake them?
Word, huh?
Did you hear that?
I think so.
Amazing.
The bird's at the door.
No, that's what I do. I come in and I just throw a couple of rocks at their door as I go to knock on their door. There we go.
Yeah, he gives a couple tinks on the door. I'm like, hey, Johnny, there's your
The
bird.
person at the door.
Breakfast shall be ready momentarily.
Omni. The bird's
Ladies
at the
and
door.
gentlemen, I'm speaking to the non-watch people. Breakfast is on me. I'll see you guys downstairs when you're ready.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Ornick, you are such
Thank you,
a
Ornick.
great travel companion, dude. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank
I'm
you. Keeping an eye
Watch
out for my
last
stomach.
night
not going
and
anywhere.
for
without Ornick in
arranging
the
for
future.
breakfast this morning, man. That's just above and beyond.
I enjoy the fresh air. I'm always happy to take a first watch. Sunrise is my favorite time of day. Last watch. Awesome. Come back around. I grab them. I'll see you guys downstairs and head off by myself downstairs. I have
Okay.
no idea where they're at getting dressed wise, so.
Okay, so you're going just back down to the main tavern room, awaiting your breakfast.
Yep.
All right.
Collecting a
I go
table
hop in the shower.
Okay.
in the shower?
Would be more of a bath, but yes.
Cool.
Yeah, you got it. They've got hot water and steam. You basically,
Do you guys have hot water on demand?
excuse me. You have a stove and you have a pot and you can heat it up on your stovetop.
And then pour it
I
in your
get in a
bathtub.
cold
Uh-huh.
bath.
Yes. All right, cool. Yeah. If you
like
just
you
want
have
to
to
rinse
pay for
off,
a
that's
hot
fine.
bath.
No problem.
I was about to say,
Do you
I was
have to
like,
pay for a hot
I
bath?
feel like
No.
No, he said
No.
that you have a stove
It's just
in your
manual.
room.
It just,
Okay, so take the time. Go get some hot water.
it's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go downstairs and eat.
Okay. All right. Corain, you exit. Zell, you're going to clean up
I'm exiting. Going to go grab
downstairs.
Exiting.
Going downstairs.
All right. And as you all go downstairs and Zell remains upstairs, all of you notice that now that dwarf, who was slung over a chair last night, is sitting at a table, slung over a steaming, what you can assume is some sort of tea or coffee, just a hot beverage.
food. I'll get one of those. Tea or coffees.
All right. When Trelina comes back through,
Yes.
I'll let you know. And this dwarf, he's breathing heavy. Almost like he's still asleep. Just enjoying the steam rising off his drink. Paying no attention to anyone. And Trelina does come back in the room at that point. Comes up to the table, already prepared. You ordered essentially the now as the DM I'm just checking. You ordered the third option?
Yep.
For everyone. Yep. Okay, so she brings out scrambled eggs, potatoes, seasoned well, rosemary, basil. She also has some grapes, which is a rare occasion.
Yeah, those are fancy.
Absolutely, especially in fall. She says, I hope you enjoy these. I hope you enjoy everything. Let me know if you need anything.
Cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee. Anyone else? That's 2. Any other hot beverages other than water and the foods?
Oh, you're really
What
in
kind of
character.
teas do you have?
Oh,
Do you have teas? Might be a more appropriate question.
we have one tea in particular. It's the only tea we have. We believe it's the best tea, so we don't deal with any of the others. It's just a green tea. What's
I'll
our
have that
favorite
tea.
tea? 2 green
2.
teas?
Omni.
2 coffees,
Speaking his
2 green
language.
teas. Anything for you other than water in the breakfast?
I'm in
Water
a
and
cold
breakfast.
bath.
Oh, that's right. Speaking to Aiden then. So that's it. All right. I'll be in the kitchen. Feel free to holler or give a knock. We'll be in and out. You can wake me down at any time.
Cream and sugar.
Okay. She
I
disappears.
Then come down because all I did was rinse off and dry off and put my
Okay.
clothes back on.
No problem. All right. So you join the group. You see they're already sitting at a table and they already have a spread of food that they're enjoying.
Dude, you went above and beyond. Thank you.
We've had a rough couple of days, and one can only subsist off beef jerky and crackers for so long.
Well, and
I reach
considering
over and grab about a third of the grapes.
our trajectory.
Place them next to the rest of my food.
Considering
I just
our
eat a whole
past
portion of
trajectory, it's
All
maybe
right.
the last really great meal we have for a while. So I
Making
appreciate
sure
I
it.
make
that
sure to get some
I'm-
ribs too.
Make sure that I.
The grapes are quickly taken by everyone.
I drop the jar of jelly on the table,
Okay.
slide it over to Hyde, say, look familiar? It's got a crack in it, so he couldn't resell it. Bart said I should give it to the person who repaired his crate.
Oh, sweet. Thanks.
And he gives you a jar of jelly. This was Kate's jelly that she had an extra jar of, and she said, give this to Emily. I think she'll enjoy it. And I've been saving that until you in
For
the
this moment.
D&D game would give it to her.
Hey!
So that has...
Looks like it'd be good with
Apple.
breakfast.
We need to make sure that it's still good. I think it is, because
It
it's
should be
canned.
We
They're
have
apple
gluten-free
chutney.
Still
crackers
sealed.
All right,
and
yeah.
goat cheese.
Yeah.
I need to
with
make
that
sure it's
jelly.
gluten free.
We do. We
I'm
need to
sure
make
it
sure all
is.
that. It
I'm
probably
sure it
is. It was given to me
There just
before
might
you
be a
guys left on
thickening
your
agent in the
vacation.
syrup, although
And I told
imagine
Kit
it's
I'd work into the
cornstarch.
game. So that was the whole, yeah.
That's how it
Yeah,
happens.
been there
I was
for a
gonna say,
while.
I think I know for a fact it's just gelatin sugar.
Yeah, just gelatin,
But
sugar, and
just a
fruit.
message, I'll check and make sure that it's still good to eat and that
Really surprised
it's no
we did
gluten.
much
And then, yeah, Kate said give that to
Right.
Em.
She does.
Thanks. I
simplicity
remember I
with
loved
excellence.
this stuff
Exactly.
when
Yeah.
I went over there.
She thought of you. Yep. Yep.
I was
So
like,
that has been months in the game waiting for you. This is what I mean by I don't just give you guys things.
How
What's
many
hilarious-
foods are going bad in the cabinet right now?
What's hilarious
it's like
and
Scott.
beautiful to me
Got
is
2
that
years
those are
of
just
foods.
the real world representations of everything that exists information and story-wise for you.
Yeah.
Because that just happens to be the one thing that we get to see and laugh about how long it's been. But there are so many little nuggets hidden throughout the storyline where you've been sitting on them for months and being like, well, if they ever end up back in Neverwinter, I've got some nuggets.
The self-control
For real,
to not share the things that we passed by.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I want to tell somebody something. I can't. I just wait for you guys to discover it. It's better that way, though. It's better.
You should keep a little notebook of
I have it.
Of all the things you want to tell us when the campaign's over, and I would love that to be.
So I have a ditch list at the very bottom. We're going to get back to role playing in a moment, and I have basically a bunch of ideas that we just didn't get to explore that were already set up. So you can see that stuff. Like
really
Yamek's
cool.
voice and stuff
There's
like that.
so many questions I have.
Yes.
I have so many questions.
You guys shot Yamek in the throat and like the eyes and like ice knifed him and like blasted him, everything.
Yemek turned around and it was like the
Just
Guardians of the
hailstorm.
Galaxy scene. Where
So
they all
you hit
kill.
him. You hit him also with like 3 missiles at once. It was mayhem. And
Obliterated him.
yes, a character I was practicing in like the shower for like
He
weeks.
turns around,
Just was like,
opens his mouth, and dies immediately.
I was like, okay, he doesn't talk. He just doesn't talk.
He just does.
Okay.
You should have done some like, oh my chest.
A grand death speech.
Well, we were doing a series of roles where you guys were
Grand
like
death
saying you wanted to make like kill moves in the goblins. So I was like, basically, if you roll high, I'll let you hit them hard like fatalities. So you all rolled high. And magic missiles, you get to do whatever you want with it. So.
They don't miss.
I'm so sorry to interrupt and be off topic. Dominic, what time is the grocery store
Dude,
close?
I want to talk about that tree.
Fantastic. Would you be willing to go on
I know.
late night grocery store run with me?
Sure.
Fantastic.
I know.
I'm
That's something
really
that I didn't
craving
mention in our
soy
intro.
marinated eggs.
All
So
right,
we need
I'm
garlic
gonna
and chilies.
grab my
I know,
breakfast
that's
plate.
something you didn't mention in the intro, and that's like so big.
How you all actually met.
I'm gonna grab my my breakfast plate and I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna walk over to the dwarf that's sitting
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
that has regained consciousness, and I'm going to say, "Excuse me, sir. I saw you down here last night. Have you recovered? Can I get you some breakfast?"
Well, who are you? I'm sorry. I just.
My name's Corain. I got a chance to meet another dwarf who's a miner by the name of Nard last night. He and I got to chat it up a little bit.
North.
Right. And I saw you over there, and I thought maybe I'd come over and see how you're feeling this morning.
I'm feeling like me. I'm not. Why are you so nice? This is off-putting this early.
He is like this with everyone.
Why don't you just
Excuse our friend.
I just like to meet new people, and you're someone that you're the only person in here I don't know.
Listen, as
Corain.
long as he's talking to you, he's not
Corain.
talking to us. So
All right. Well,
Leave the poor gentleman alone.
I'm Lennar. I'm tired.
Lennar is the dwarf that you visited
Narth.
when we first.
Narth. Hold on. Wait. Lennar.
Lennar's the one he visited with and gave the chocolate to.
Stop.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that was.
This is
Lennar.
I
where.
don't know how confidently I can believe you when you start calling
Thank
them
you.
chocolates.
No, you're right. Well, caramel. I know what you meant. But you're right. This was the crisscross I told you about the other day.
Yep.
Thank you. So
This is Narth.
this is Narth.
Okay.
Now you're meeting Narth.
I was
mixed
surprised
up.
because he
Thank
said
you.
Narth. That's why I didn't.
I said Narth because he started telling me that Narth was
I
on
did.
his way out and
Okay,
had ate the
okay,
caramel.
cool.
I did.
Okay, so-
I messed that up because that's what I did the other night.
All right, Lennar.
So we're clear now.
Got it.
Lennar's the one you met before.
Right.
Narth is the one you're meeting now.
Right. Gotcha.
So
I'm North. I'm tired. Okay, so what do we talk about now?
Would you like some food, or would you just like to stick with your?
Oh no, my stomach, I can't handle that.
Okay. Then
All right,
we'll
Narth.
leave you alone.
Yeah, listen, I'm talking to him. Where are you?
Standing over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Trying to drag you away from the man who's half asleep.
Leave him alone,
I
Corinne.
think I can handle it. Sorry, Narth.
No,
My friends interrupting. Listen, I'll leave you in peace. You look like you'd just rather have your table to yourself right now. That's fine.
I'd rather have someone kill a bunch of orcs for me, but I can't get that done. So I'm here drinking, and that's what we do.
Orcs.
I can't even.
Orcs.
No, you
man.
enjoy your drink.
Will you stop talking for me?
I'm gonna
I'm pulling you
throw
back.
you in
I'm
the corner.
I'm pulling you back to the table.
You got to know when the DM's throwing you a thread. Shut up.
You're chasing this thread.
Narth,
Yeah.
why do you want to kill a bunch of orcs?
I don't want to kill a bunch of orcs, but there's a bunch of orcs that are they're ruining my life. They're ruining a number of miners on the trail's life right now. They basically have locked down certain areas that we can't get our goods back and forth. They say that they're providing protection, but really all they're doing is taking a day's work from us. It's not even a percentage at this point. It's just exhausting, and it's impossible. And what can we do? We're exhausted when we wake up. We're exhausted when we're coming back. All we're trying to do is bring what we find in the mine back to the town and make a living for ourselves. But this is...
Is this all happening out on the Miners Trail?
Oh, no. This is Tribord Trail. The Miners Trail, that's protected. Those are like the high-rolling miners. This is the Tribord Trail, and I've found a couple little pockets out there that, well, they're plentiful, but I can't provide if I can't get my goods back to town.
How many orcs are we talking about here?
Too many. I don't even know. I can't count them. They've got lines. They've got checkpoints.
Ugh.
So I'm here, and Shalina knows, and Phandalin knows. The Townmaster even knows. They can't do anything about it because they don't want to start a war with orcs. Oh.
Well, I am sorry to hear of your troubles. I'll leave you in peace, and if you change your mind about that breakfast, let me know. I'd be happy to just give you something to help pick you up and give you a little more energy this morning.
Well, you got big muscles. You want to move some orcs off the road for me?
No.
You look like a hero, huh? I can't give you anything. I don't have anything. I just, if you're into that, I don't know, right thing to do stuff, it's not going to get done otherwise. I'm just going to sit here and drink myself. And the next day, and then the next day.
Zell begins sharing with the table her sense of urgency to get on with the mission and suggests that visiting and tracking down Harbin is the next step based on Sildor's
He's the Townmaster, right?
recommendation that he is. And
Yeah.
Sildar.
Sildar told us that he believed that Harbin was our best bet.
And at this point, Sildar, who slept in the same room as all of you,
Yep.
steps forward
Yep.
and says, yes, I believe that would be the best bet. Harbin has a lot on his hands, and it would probably be better to get there earlier than later. He may be in his office already, but if we get there and we hang outside, I'm sure we'll have a moment with him. We want to be short and know what we're going to ask because he is going to be pressed for time.
Thank you for that. That helps quite a bit. So now we begin to discuss amongst ourselves what it is that we're going to discuss with Harbin so that we can have a plan. So, Sildar, can you please unpack for us why you believe Harbin is going to be a good source of information for us in regards to the Kragmal tribe and where Gungar. is.
Well, unlike Maurice, that sort of strangely slick character last night who came in here, Phandalin is a pretty grounded individual. Harbin is a pretty grounded individual. Thank you. You see, the town here of Phandalin, other than the private protection that's hired by the miners on the main miners' trail, there isn't any guard here. There isn't any policing of any kind. It's voted upon by everyone in town to select a Townmaster. It's a real vote. There aren't many people here. It's hard to fake. So at this point, he's appointed to be the trusted person in town. Most people have to interact with him on some level just to exist here. Most people talk to him about something, whether it's property or business, or in our case, hopefully guidance. And I would suggest that we focus on this cragmaw, whatever this is. I hadn't heard of it. I've been in and out of Phandalin for years. This is a new phenomenon, this cragmaw tribe.
Have you met Sildar before? Sildar.
I'm Sildar.
I'm sorry. Have you met? I just pulled a Jesse. Have you met Harbin before?
Thank you. Makes me feel better.
Calling it a Jesse was kind of
No,
brutal, but
I'm
just pulling Jesse.
I'm not even kidding. That makes me feel better. It does. I like stuff like that. So, yes, I have. Small interaction, mostly just standing by Gundren's side as he conducted business. He's a man who seems overwhelmed. Again, pressed for time. Everyone's asking him everything. I feel like he's our best bet. Other than the cragmaw, I have no other interest
What do
with
you
the
know?
town.
What do you know about the spider? Does that mean anything to you?
Oh, well, actually, now I take that back. We're going to want to ask him about the spider as well. But we're going to need to do that only if we can go inside.
Okay. We need to be discreet talking about the spider.
Yes, I shouldn't have even been that loud now. I understand we're alone other than that.
What do you
Character
know?
there, but-
What do you know of this person?
I don't know anything. He was my captor, I assume.
You don't know anything like human race.
Oh, no, I never interacted or saw. I just know that whatever that presence of the spider meant, it was something that was intimidating. Not only the goblins, but even the hobgoblin and the bugbear at times. It seemed very frustrating anytime that someone came with any information or instructions from the spider. So this was my assumption that...
Should we be concerned that Harbin is perhaps in the spider's pocket?
Well, that was something that crossed my mind, but I was hoping for the best, because if we don't ask Harbin, I don't have a lead for us.
I guess we have to
Sildar,
take the leads we have.
Yeah,
you
so
were
we're
pretty
making-
silent last night. What do you know about this Maurice?
I don't know anything, but he had an
It's awfully
answer
odd
for
that you've
everything.
been in and out of Phandalin so frequently, but
He's new. I haven't been here for a number of years. I don't frequent this all the time. It's been some time since Gundren asked me. But
so many times, just not with any regularity.
yes, I don't track every event in Phandalin. I'm sure Harbin, again, would have that answer for us. But to your point, can we trust him? I don't know who else to trust. Maurice? I wouldn't trust him as far as I can throw him. And, that ain't far.
My suggestion is that Sildar at least initiates that conversation with Harbin.
He has a rapport.
He has a rapport with him. He also has a relationship with Gungar and is
Gundren.
motivated. Gungar is sorry, is the band.
Gungar's a band.
Yes, Gundren is motivated to get Gundren back, and his intentions are pure. And so,
Yes, Gundren is motivated to get Gundren back.
oh my goodness, Sildar, is motivated to get Gundren.
You guys are doing great. I'm throwing
back
so
from
many names at you.
Harbin. Thank
Yes.
you.
All right, let's
Amazing.
go talk to
You did it.
Harbin.
Yeah.
I stand up from the table and walk toward the door.
Okay, so everyone is finished with their breakfast, I assume? Yep.
Finish scarfing.
Anyone who isn't is finishing right now.
I snatch up the
I'm
last
putting
few
stuff in
grapes
my
laying on the
pocket.
plate.
I open the door, I
grab
turn
them right
around, I
before-
say, am I going alone? Anyone coming?
throw
I'm
you
putting
one.
food in my pockets.
At this point, the door is open. Trelina is open for business. You can open it right up. There are people already coming in. You were really the first meal of the day, having just woken up, but the door remains open now. And as you leave, Trelina says behind you, "Thank you. Will I be seeing you tonight?"
Yes.
Yes.
Probably not.
No. We'll see you tonight.
Would
Please
you like
keep-
to reserve those rooms
Yes,
now?
please.
Okay, same payment,
Yes.
Yes.
and they would be required at this moment if you wanted them tonight. Otherwise, they may be
Remind me
booked.
of the payment.
And I will remind myself by clicking over and saying, okay, it was 5 silver pieces per person.
Here you go.
Yep,
We all pay.
we all pay.
Okay, mark it off. All right. And
many gold
Sildar
was it?
and
5 silver.
Sildar and Raiden would hope that you would pay for them as well.
I
Them
did it
having
last
nothing.
time.
All right.
Let's see.
It's
I gotta
five
start
silver?
doing math here.
If somebody's willing to give me one, I can cover one person. I have 9 silver and I'm not willing to break anything.
You said 5 silver.
She's got 140 gold, and she says,
5 silver.
"How? Not one
Sildar,
of these."
Sildar speaks up.
I'll cover Sildar. I got him.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thank you,
Is
sir.
anybody giving up one? So that way...
Who's covering Raiden?
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought
who's-
Emily just said she was. I'll
I would
cover
cover...
Raiden.
no, give me 1 silver, I'll cover 4, and then I just don't have
Okay,
any
I'm
more
giving
silver.
you 1 silver.
Just didn't want to break anything.
Okay.
Just makes it easy.
So that takes care of Sildar.
Yep.
And you're covering Raiden.
Sildar and Raiden are taking care
You
of
got it. It's done. We
Yes,
got it.
and you were
Okay.
only marking
Thank
off
you. That
one
was some
silver,
heavy
correct.
math. Raiden nods. Sildar has already said thank you to Crane. We got it. We're good. So, moving on, you all exit onto the street. The cool morning air hitting you after the warm coals of the fire and the freshly lit flames of the morning have left you. The breeze is soft.
That's Ethan.
All good.
that one.
We're good. Thought it was me for a second. The breeze is soft. The air, I would say, is warming up slightly. It's still a cold day, but this is the coldest point. And as the sun rises even further up and the morning begins to warm, the streets are filled with people. And not just people who are working or coming and going, but there's also people who are now strolling. You assume guests and visitors from out of town, or individuals who live locally, picking up at food stands, doing some general perusing and shopping. Did your group want to head immediately to the Townmaster's Hall?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
simply-
I walk out of the end, hang a left, and start walking down that way.
Okay, you approach the Townmaster's Hall. At this point, the doors are closed. It's a modestly large building, heavy wooden doors at the front, a large side where there's obviously an enormous chimney that runs up the 2 stories. There are no lights on, no smoke coming out. Do you knock at the door?
What time is it?
I would say at this point, it's about 7 o'clock at the earliest.
It can't be
You guys went to bed at 1, so it would be 9.
when we woke up.
Actually,
So at this
at
point,
1
it'd be like
o'clock is when the
10.
ruckus started and we had to head back downstairs.
Yeah, you're right. So I forgot about that. I did some 11 o'clock math.
no.
So
It's
no,
late.
it's late. So when you arrive, there is smoke coming out of the chimney. There are lanterns lit on the inside.
There are
The
peop-
sun is completely up. There wouldn't be lanterns. It's bright. Same thing in terms of town. The day is warm. There's obviously people inside, more than one as you approach. You can see in through the windows. There's people moving around. Now
Like
do you
what,
knock?
like 9:30?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
It's the kind of facility that seems to warrant a knock, rather than a public facility that seems you should just walk in.
There's 2 wooden doors. They're both closed. It's up to you whether you want to just
I'm going to
open
ask
a door or
Sildar.
knock.
I'm going to say, Sildar, since you've been here before, you're familiar with this building, and you may have a relationship with someone inside, whereas this is a first experience for us. Would you be the one to please?
So I understand you're comfortable with me taking the lead on this?
Yes, please.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. In that case, I think the less the better. So I don't believe we should all go in there. I feel like that's overwhelming.
I agree with that.
I feel
Sildar, why
comfortable-
don't you and Zell? go
Okay.
into it?
I have persuasion. I would
That
love
sounds
to come with you.
excellent. Please. Wonderful. All right. So Sildar then turns. Ready? Okay.
Great. Following you.
And just a big knock at the door. Boom, boom. And then he opens both doors himself, walks inside. And as you do, you walk inside and you see that there's really a counter around. And there are so many stacks of papers. And there is a large center desk. And this is a giant room. I would say it's about the size of this room with much higher ceilings. But a bit more of a square, what you're in right now. You assume that there's more of a room through a doorway that you can see. Where you enter, there is a doorway in the back. So there's probably more extended, because the building itself was a rectangle. But you're in a large square. There's people moving back and forth, handing each other papers, taking notes, having quills out, dipping pens. And then there's a man in the center who has classic stacks of papers on all sides. And he's signing things from one side, pulling them, signing them from one stack to another. And it seems endless. It doesn't seem like there's any place to start and stop. And Sildar strolls up to the main desk, nods at some of the people. Good morning. Good morning. Looks down at Toblin.
Harbin.
Harbin.
Looks down at Harbin. I'm gonna love when Neuralink can just hook it up. My dyslexia is gone. Looks down at Harbin and says, pardon me there, Townmaster. Harbin says, yes, can I help you? Yes. Just tell me, what is it? What is it? Very busy here. If I can help you, I will. If I can't, I will tell you, and you can go. Save ourselves both time. Yes, I do know that you are the man to talk to in the town, so I'll keep this short. You know Gundren. Yes. I know Gundren. I know who you are. Sildar, the knight from Neverwinter. No longer just a good person escorting back and forth who lost his companion along the way. Not the first time, is it, Sildar? That's almost funny. Harbin, so you know we lost Gundren. Yes, I know you lost Gundren, and I know who took Gundren. Well, if you could share that with us, that would be very helpful, Harbin. Here's the thing, Sildar, and he stops, and he puts down his quill and his papers. Do you know why Gundren was taken? Sildar says, no, but I'm hoping that if you do, you will share that. Sildar was taken because he is the center of a web that connects this town to Neverwinter, to Baldur's Gate, and beyond. If you pluck Sildar from this literal... God damn it. Gundren from this literal this literal net. This web will break. Commerce and business will shatter for so many of us. Not just individuals, families, towns. Gundren keeps us all connected. And suddenly, His supplies are late for the first time in many years. And there was an explanation why those supplies were late last time. And I know it wasn't your fault, but you got blamed for it, and I... Forgive me for picking at you, Sildar. The thing is... This problem of Gundren being taken is even much bigger than Gundren. If you want to save your friend, you have to basically save this town first. We have orc raiders preventing the independent miners from bringing back their ore. Keep in mind, that's the nickel and the copper that we get. That's not the steel. That nickel and copper, that's what we make the real shields out of. That's what we need. And suddenly we're cut off from that supply chain. The taxes they demand are impossible. And that just happened a couple months ago. We've got a family who went missing in the center of town because we have red-hooded ruffians running around doing God knows what. I'll tell you what they're doing, Sildar. They're somehow connected with the same people who probably took your Gundren. From what I understand, my threads are telling me that the Cragmaws, who I assume you were sitting in their cell, which is why the goods were not delivered on time. Sildar, do you know how desperately I was counting on those caramels? I'm sorry. Gundren and I had a deal, Sildar. I get caramels every 90 days. And suddenly, what do I do now? You need to find their castle, Sildar. That I can't tell you where it is, because I don't know, or I would tell you. I would say, go rough up the ruffians, because suddenly everything in this town is being absorbed by the roads and pathways that connect us to the bigger cities that bring us back our support, our financial liquidity, our ability to survive in these desolate places that aren't thriving yet. I've wasted too much time ranting to you. My blood pressure's too high. This isn't good for me. I wish you hadn't visited. Go find your friend. I don't know where the castle is. I can't help you any more than this, but the ruffians are a nightmare, a menace. I can't prove it, but I swear they're somehow responsible for every good we send out being cut off and taxed and turned around. We're not the only caravan that was robbed. Get in line, and for now, get out of my room. I have work to do. I hope I've helped you. I want my caramels. Get Gundren back.
Before you kick us out of your room, if we help you with these issues, will you be paying us?
What? What? This is...
If we help you with the copper mine, the nickel mines, these problems you talk of, will you be paying us?
Yeah, we can work out something. We can work... What would you want? What would you even consider? What are you willing to do for this town?
Well, we are here, and we need gold. Gold is good. We like gold. And if your town is suffering, and we're going to be working around trying to find Gundren, we would like to know there's something in it for us.
Is Omni playing Sildar right now just so that we can...
No, I'm just talking.
Omni's outside.
He didn't come in.
The only two
I
people
didn't
in
come
there are
Oh,
Zell
my
and
bad. I thought I was in there.
Sildar.
No,
I assumed you came in.
I was like, you weren't
Yeah.
really given the opportunity.
Yeah. So we assume you're in there.
He's
Okay.
sneaky. Just
All right.
slipped
Gotcha.
in behind.
I like it.
Just quietly. I'm willing to negotiate, but I need a commitment. We have too many things to just hand over gold and hope it gets better. I have orcs that need to be removed from our mining trails, permanently removed, not temporarily. I have a family that's gone missing, and that is terrible for commerce in town. Oh, it's bustling now, but if these people don't turn up or I can't convince them that they've moved, if they've just gone away and it happens again, that's when it gets unbearable. I need to know what happened to this family. I need to know where they are if they're still alive. Or if they aren't, I need to be able to explain it and stop it from happening again.
What do you know about the missing family? What are the names? Where did they live?
Give me a moment. Fel Dendar, a local wood carver. He's lived here his entire life. His wife, Sylvia, his children, I don't know their names. But he has 3, and all 5 were in the streets, and these same ruffians that are most likely connected to whatever this other band of robberies on every edge of town. These ruffians shouted at his wife. He tried to stand up for them. No one saw what happened, and no one's seen them since.
Okay. Well, it sounds like we have some shared interests here, so we will be looking into these things.
We have no assistance from anyone. We have no guard here. We bring the ore from the hills that literally gets poured into the hands of the Neverwinter soldiers. We have no protection. We have people missing. We have raids. We have robbers.
Is there anyone else in the room with us, or is it just us?
There's 2 or 3 other people, females, and they're just going back and forth from all the tables, signing, whispering to each other, organizing.
I'm gonna lean in close to the mayor and say, "What can you tell us about the spider?" And obviously, I'm trying to be very discreet as I ask this.
Okay.
We have heard he may be associated with the people taking Gundren, if not in charge.
And you roll a perception check, or an insight check, actually.
Okay. Check my insight bonus real quick.
Insight is your ability to determine almost the feeling of the person, the facial expression, that little micro, maybe giveaway.
So we've got a 15.
Okay, you get the solid feeling that he looks confused by the name. The spider. I haven't heard of that one yet. And you get the sense that he's telling you the truth.
Okay. And then I'll say back to him quietly again, I have heard they keep their identity hidden, so be discreet with that.
Are you trying to suggest that I'm the spider because I said web and
No.
net?
No, I'm trying to tell you for your own safety not to go asking about somebody named the spider.
So you're asking me about something I shouldn't ask anyone about.
If you don't know about it already, probably not.
That sounds like someone I want to know about.
If you find anything out, we would all love to know, because he sounds like his web is extensive.
Well, now I want to know. And he? It's a he, you say?
We don't know. I'm sorry, I'm saying that automatically.
Yes.
They.
Interesting. Okay.
It.
Are we done here?
Harbin, can you give us any direction to head while looking for some kind of leadership or the castle for Cragmaw? Someone we can ask. We need something to go on.
We know we can check. The ruffians are a lead, and the orcs are a lead.
There's someone else who keeps himself sort of off the radar.
Someone friendly, preferably.
Yes. There's someone else who sort of stays off the radar, but his name's Darren. Darren Edermath. He's a retired adventurer who lives in the little tidy cottage beside the orchard, the apple orchard, that is. And, he used to be a fighter, served as a marshal. He was heralded for many years in the lands of the Dragon Coast. But upon retiring, he returned to Neverwinter region and then sort of just ended up here. His original home.
How do I feel like our party's heard the name Darren already?
I don't believe so.
I believe so.
I think Sildar may have mentioned it to you because Darren is also a member of the Order of the Gauntlet. And Sildar, being a knight, would have known that at one point, Darren, as well, was someone who could be trusted, devout, vigilant, generally seeks to protect others, and repress evildoers. The Order itself states openly that they would smite evil, enforce justice, and enact retribution against anyone who would try to subjugate or harm others. So, Darren, I would say, and I would say that this is Sildar now, reminding you, he would be trustworthy, if anyone in town.
So Sildar knows of Darren?
Yes,
Yeah.
but not personally. Just knows that there's another, essentially ex-knight, or I should say, just Order of the Gauntlet. He was a member. That would be the only one I can think of. He's been around. And he's here. Maybe. I don't know. But I can't help you anymore. I've shared with you what I know.
If you
I'm sorry your friend's gone.
learn of anything else, ask discreetly asking about the name of the spider or the Kragmaw tribe. We're going to be staying at the inn locally tonight.
Okay.
That's our
Stonehill?
intention.
Okay.
Yes, Stonehill.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'm as curious as you now. If that's all, thank you.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Harbin.
Back to work. Take care. So now, with your party aware, really from Zell, Sildar, and Omni, you're bringing the information back to the others that you have met with Harbin. And Harbin was fully aware that Gundren was taken. Harbin was also aware of this Kragmaw tribe, convinced himself that they were connected to this Peskin town, the ruffians that you had encountered just the evening before. Also overwhelmed with many other things, orcs on trails, families missing. Harbin, although he didn't show it, I think was happy to have some help, and said he would be willing to negotiate gold, but he would need commitment, and that was never fully established. So for now, he's helped you as much as he can, sending you on the way to an ex-knight by an orchard, who will hopefully be able to help you further, knowing from Harbin and Sildar, he should be trusted. And with that, we will pick up next week. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit like, subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Yeehaw.
Yep.